Singlehood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
How to navigate being single, and more importantly, how to be happy being single, because sometimes that can be complicated for some of us.
And how to be happy being single when you want to be partnered.
And that'd be the part.
Because there's another element to that. You know, some people are, I don't want no man right now. I don't want a relationship. But there are some of us who are like, I could use a nigga.
I've never been an I don't want a man type of girl.
Yeah.
I want a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a man. You know,
Heavy on it.
I'm not on the, I don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
I want a man. So.
Yeah. And you know, it's good to make note of that, to recognize, like, I want a man, even if I'm independent and I can do things by myself, like, there's still value in partnership that we need. But when we're in our single era, and whether it's by choice or you know, involuntarily or not, it's sometimes weaponized against us.
It is weaponized. We weaponize it. We weaponize ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
no? Like people
weaponize
singleness when it comes to women.
They do.
Like, if you're not with somebody, it must be something wrong with you. You can't keep a man.
I hate when people say you can't keep a man.
But being single is common as fuck.
It is.
Almost half the population is single.
I know. So I'm like, why is there this shame?
And really, more men are single than women. 45% of men.
And that's why the girlies are struggling.
And 40% of women. Like, nigga, what about them? They can't keep a woman. Okay? Let's start looking at this a little differently.
I know.
Yeah.
You know?
We gotta get over the stigma.
We do have to get over the stigma. We do. Because it is shame in its place. I know, like, that's where a bunch of the content and the messaging is like, you know, women can't keep a man. A lot of our worth and value is tied to our relationship status.
Girl.
Self-inflicted and imposed on us by others. That's just the reality.
Listen.
You know?
Yeah. I'm around some people right now in my life who are going through singleness, like a bout of singleness. And I have been able to be a shoulder to lean on, because this is my work. This is my work that I do. And I've been able to be a voice of reason and soundness.
Shit.
Soundness. And I can really see, it's so much easier to see when you're on the outside looking in, how much we really do tie our worth to our relationships. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just stating the, like, sometimes you can't see it when you're in it. No. But when you're on the outside looking in, it's like, girl, stand up. You are still deserving and worthy even without the man.
I know.
And I know it doesn't feel like that when you're in it and you don't have it, but it's true. It's true.
I felt like that before. I felt like, damn. It really felt like a piece of me was missing. You know, it really felt like a piece of me was missing. Like, I know, you know, you're whole and you're complete. That's what we want to believe. But when you're, more so when it's like fresh out of a relationship, especially if it's been like a long-term relationship. And so like if you're kind of like that was a part of your identity. It's very jarring. It's a very jarring experience. And then you got to get out there and navigate the dating streets, which can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And so you be just feeling like, damn. You know, especially if you do desire a relationship. I know some people, like we said, they don't give a damn. So it's probably easier for them to be happy being single. But, girl.
I know, it's hard. It's hard, especially for women. I'm going to speak for the girls.
I think for the girls,
I don't know about the men.
Well, you know what? I feel like men, well, I guess I'm proven wrong, because I was about to say, I feel like men, they don't be being single.
I feel like they do, but they don't put their value and their worth into being in a relationship.
You know what? They also don't get the messaging that we get.
Yeah.
If a man is single, they're like, oh, you know, he's a
playing
player.
The field. He's
a bachelor. He's doing his thing. He's chasing the bag. If a woman is single, it's what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why, as women, we have to decenter these men.
Girl.
That's why.
We do have to
take our focus off of them.
We have to decenter it, because life can still be full. You can still pour into yourself. You can still have a good time. You can pour into the other relationships around you. And you can live your best life while you're waiting for whoever is going to come into your life to come.
Yeah.
Period. Like, so, in your singleness, single periods, how have you felt?
It's funny. If you know me, then you know.
How have you felt? Have you felt?
No, and I've shared that on this show before. I haven't had many periods of singleness, where I'm really not entertaining anybody and I'm just on my.
I mean, you can be single and entertain.
Oh, well, I've done that.
Like.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I have. I've been single for a little period before I jump back into something. But there is an element of entertain that I like. But yeah, I feel like in my singleness, what's beneficial to me is that I've always had a full social life, like outside of a man. Anytime I've gotten in a relationship, I've always maintained my friendships and my family dynamics, and like always still cultivated those relationships so that if they come or if they go, I still got my people and I still feel like a sense of connection, even though it's not a romantic connection. So my whole world doesn't like come crashing down. I feel like I've been able to navigate in the past singleness relatively like well. And I think I'm just going to be completely honest. I was able to handle it well because it didn't last too long. I don't know how I would have managed if it would have been like
a drought.
Cue the future. I don't know how I would have fared if it would have been like a long time without a partner, because my like natural proclivity is to want a partner. Like, I am a relationship kind of girl.
A true Libra girl.
Yes. I love to be in community and relationship with my people, specifically a man.
Right.
So
it's a different type of people.
It is. It is. So it didn't last long, but I feel like it was cool. What about you? As a current single girly.
Well, as a current single girly,
or just in general, I'm saying, but like you're speaking from a current single girly's perspective.
As a current single girly, I feel like I'm navigating this single period differently because, like I mentioned a minute ago, like I do desire a relationship, but it's not coming from a place of desperation, like
and lack,
right? Yeah. Like I know that I want one, but I'm willing to wait and like not be pressed, because I don't just want any type of relationship. Like I want it to be a good, fun relationship. I've done the forcing, I've done the scarcity, and at the end, like I just end up still not feeling that well. Like there's a part of me that does feel good because it's like, okay, I got my, I got my little safe space.
Yeah, something you can.
I have my consistency in that area, but a part of me has known like it's not really the right, the right thing necessarily. So at this point in my life, my life is full. I have a good time. I have great relationships outside of a romantic partner. And I just want something that's right. It's not hard to get into a relationship.
No. And the thing is, girls, let me tell you something. When you are single and down and out, these men will come and it will seem like it's promising, and it don't be. I remember when I was single, I was out of a relationship and I started, I was entertaining. It wasn't even like we were doing much because the nigga wasn't dating me. But early on, I'm like, okay, we could do the little phone thing, the little FaceTime thing, but when is a date going to be lined up?
Exactly.
And I feel like because I do like partnership, I could have fell into something with that. I could have fell into a little situation.
You could have made it work.
I could have made it work, but I said, let me put the brakes on this.
Put it on them.
Boy, you are not what I need. You are not what I need. Go find somebody else who want to sit up on the phone with you all damn day. It ain't me.
That's the thing. I know ultimately the things that I want that would really make me feel good.
Yeah.
And no.
Right.
Because I'm still expected to show up in the relationship. Mm-hmm. And so, no. Like I said before, that's why when people try to like weaponize being single, they really sound dumb, because for a lot of people, it's not hard to get into a relationship and not be single. Yeah. It may be a little harder to get into a good relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's work. But it's not hard to just be in something to remove the single badge if that's what y'all want us to do.
No, you could do that easily.
Right.
You could do that easily, but the girls that know.
I don't want to do it no more.
And you don't have to.
I don't want to do it no more. Now, sometimes in the singleness, there can be a point where you reach some frustration, or where I have reached frustration, and I'm like, damn.
Right.
Is my husband ever going to stumble in this bitch?
He is.
I'm kissing the frogs. Where's the prince?
When are you going to transform?
And I think that kind of mentality takes away from the ability to be happy single, because you start looking at it as a lifetime thing. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be like this forever.
And you start looking too far into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just embracing where you are currently.
Yeah.
Because baby, the way we will try to figure out I will really try to pull out some cards and be like, what do I see? I will turn it to Miss Cleo.
And then that's how we go back to the old cards.
Mm-hmm. Right, spinning the block.
I do have some cards. I do have some cards.
I keep a deck on me.
I do keep a deck on me, but it's like, do you really want to play? Is that really a good hand?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, it don't be a good hand.
Yeah, but if you're a girly currently dealing with singleness and you've been in this space for a while and you find yourself getting frustrated, or not even necessarily frustrated, but a way for us to really examine our thoughts around singleness and what it means for our happiness and our self-worth. Like, you have to really think about it. If you never get married, if the partner never comes, because we all want it, but it, we don't know.
Right.
If that never happens, are you going to be less happy with your life? Are you going to feel less fulfilled? If marriage or, the long-term thing doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Are you going to be like, oh, I failed at life because I didn't get, clicked up with someone?
I know. And then also, like, putting our lives on pause with that mentality. Like, there can be the idea of that our happiness is in someone else. Like, expecting them to come in and make our lives better. Like, when they come, I'm going to be able to do all these things, or I'm just going to feel really good. And it's like, that strips away the power from ourselves to create that same happiness. Like, we can create this happiness and be happy, and when we meet these people, it can just be multiplied. It can be enhanced.
Yeah.
But waiting on somebody else before you start living your happy will definitely have you up shit's creek with no paddle.
Yeah. And I think it's just important for us to focus on all of our relationships, because the way we will zoom in, laser focus on the relationship, the romantic relationship, and not even express gratitude for the relationships that are in our lives. The platonic relationships, the good girlfriends, maybe you're got some cool ass coworkers or colleagues, your family, like really pouring in and nurturing those relationships and taking inventory of the fact, like, okay, maybe the romantic might be lacking, but I have all of these other relationships that I can pour into. And the better that I show up in these relationships, the more magnetic I am for a romantic relationship.
We've talked about the magnetism of just seeing people live their full lives and just be themselves. That attracts people to you, whether it's platonic, romantic. I'm like, oh,
right.
Look at them.
Look at them living their life.
Look at them being great, doing their thing. Like, that's attractive shit. Yeah. Now, but if you're sitting up there moping, that might not be that attractive. And then also, we need to think about why we have a negative outlook. Sometimes the information that we're consuming, the conversations that we're partaking in, they can be very discouraging and make us feel like the singleness is a death sentence. We ain't gonna find nobody. You expired because you this certain age. The Kevin Samuels talking shit. Like, fuck you. How about that?
Yeah, and develop your own perspectives around this. Traditional families, where you might have some, like, from a traditional family with a traditional perspective and point of view, can make you feel like if you're not married, partnered, coupled, that you are lacking some sort of value when it comes to, like, family or home life or moving forward, building. But develop your own outlook on this situation, and maybe even examine where this thought stems from. Is it my family that's making me feel this way?
Yeah.
That I can't enjoy my singleness? Is it the societal pressure? Is it my friends making me feel bad for being single? Or, like, it's just so many factors.